In this video, I will explain to you exactly why you experience a VLOOKUP no value error. So basically this is it. So maybe you're doing a VLOOKUP function and you're doing everything correct, but somehow it always gives the hashtag n/a value, meaning no value available. So what can we do here? There's no value available and we have no understanding what the issue is. Well, I can tell you there's one item that is very, very common and many people tend to make this mistake, and that's no problem. We're going to solve that. I'm going to show you two ways, especially if you're not able to do the easy way. So I'm going to show you first the easy way in looking at our situation here. So we have this employee ID. I'm going to make a VLOOKUP here. And we're going to select basically the employee ID, and the employee ID will eventually give us the order ID. Oh, sorry, you have to do it here. So here will be the employee ID. Let's look at our sales tab here. So you can see here, that's this. Let's say 1003. So we put in this. And what we want to do is based on our employee ID, we want to find the order ID, which is here at the first, and then after we also want to find the order amount. So what can we do if we do here VLOOKUP, and then we select here the value and comma, column index or table array. We're going to select them here, and you probably are selecting it as well. And then we say here the column index number. Well, it's the first one that we want because here's the value that we have. All right, comma, and then we say here false. Enter. And now you get this no value error. So not available, nothing is available. Why is this? Let me tell you exactly why. Alright, the reason why the error comes, and you have to check as well if you're experiencing this error, exactly this is 90% of the issue, is we have our value is stored here, or at least this is the comparison value that we use here, right? This is the C4 is the VLOOKUP value. However, if you put it here, and let's give this a nice grayish thing, Excel cannot look back. Even if you select the table array that we did, which was from everywhere, that was all correct. If you look at the table array, we selected these here all. So you would say, well, if this is the value, it should just go to the left. Well, this doesn't work with VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP must have the value, the comparison value here on the left, and then everything here after is okay. It's basically green. They can search everything. This is no problem. So let me try, or let's look. If you're going to adjust this here, and we say not the first value, but we're going to get the third value, we'll be fine. However, our table array has some issue as well. Of course, we need to adjust the table array to B. And once we did that, because then we start here. Alright. So what can we do now as a solution? You might say, well, what can I do? Well, there's two ways. Let's put this back here and put all of this back. The first option would be to move this tab here and move that one there. So basically, we're going to insert a new tab. I'm going to paste that there and just delete this tab here and go back here. And here, this one, of course, because you can see the VLOOKUP was on number 1. That's why it gets here. Now the value number 1 is here. So if this here, the table column, would be the second value, problem solved, right? No problem. Then we can do here VLOOKUP as well. And we can do the same here, table column array. Everything is basically identical. And then we say here, we have the fourth column. And then we say false. Enter. Alright. So you say, well, this is fine. But then you say, well, wait a minute. This is not the situation for me because my situation here is different. I am not allowed to even adjust this information here. I am not allowed to touch this because maybe a supervisor has access to that. It's blocked, or you're not allowed to adjust anything of this because you're not allowed to touch the source code. So let me create a scenario here then. Alright. So let's put this back here. So let's go to put this back. I'm just going to move that here. We move that one there. So There we are. Alright, so we have this situation again. We're going back here, and we can redo this one again. So I'm going to do it the same way. The VLOOKUP. We're going to select all of these. Oh, sorry, before we do that, I need to get the value of that. So the VLOOKUP value would be this value here, comma, table array. And I'm going to show you something really fun. And this is a very neat trick. Column, and we say false. Alright, so we have still the same error. Alright, what can we do here? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock these cells so you have an understanding what we're going to do here. We're going to block these cells, meaning if I go and click here on format and the cells are already locked, I'll protect the sheet by giving it a test. So this is a quite common situation, but I'm telling you, what I told you, you're maybe not allowed to adjust this tab. Confirm. Here you can see now it's locked. So if I want to do something here, I'm going to type in here anything, not allowed. If I type this here, not allowed. So this is probably the situation you might have. How do we solve this? We're not allowed to touch the tabs. How can we solve this? By reorganizing it. You might say, well, we probably have to retype it. Well, that's not a suitable option if you have a huge amount of data. So what we can do here is the choose function. So let me show you exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm going to type in here equal. Then I'm going to say choose. Alright. So what we're going to do here is, this is what the choose function does. Basically, the choose function can switch columns. Yes. And they don't switch them physically, but they switch them in the memory. Yes. So basically the memory of the Excel. So Excel will remember the structure, the new structure that you make. Alright. So let me show you here. You have the index number or the column index number. I will say now, because here you're going to control which index number you want to show first. Alright? So let's say we're going to show the second one first, because that was an issue here. Because here we had the second one was on the second location. We're going to put the second one first. Alright? And then we say comma. Now we have to select the table values. Well, let's go here. This is the first value. Yes, this is the first column. This is the second column that we want to force now to the first position. And this is the third column and fourth column. Once we have this, I'm doing enter. Now you can see our employee ID is the first, as you can see here. And if we would do here, we can do again choose, but we will not do this. But I'm going to show you just to make it more visual for you. We have this. And now I say I want the first column shown. Then say comma, select the first column, select second, third, and fourth. Alright, confirm, there you are. So now we have the reposition. This repositioning will solve it. You can see it already. However, you say, well, wait a minute. Do I need to put in 4 times this formula for all these columns? No. So what I'm going to do is, we're going to just get these. We have these here, and that's luckily we have them here as well. Alright, so I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to right click, special paste, and then I'm going to do transpose. What transpose does, it moves them from top to bottom to left to right. Alright, you can see here, this is our order ID. Our order ID is basically this ID here, and this should be put on number 2. This should be put on number 1, and this should be maintain number 3, and maintain number 4. Alright, so if you understand this structure, you will now understand here what we're going to do here in the choose in this one. Alright, so let me click here in the function. Here what we're going to do now is pay attention here. This is very important. We're going to get this order because we say first tab number 2 to show, then tab 1, first column 2, column 1, column 3, column 4. Alright? So we're going to put this here, and then we say here curly brackets. Make sure you do curly brackets because you're only allowed to place one value in here if you don't use curly brackets. So now it's a curly brackets number 2, comma, number 1, comma, number 3, comma, number 4. Enter. Alright, let's close this, and now you get a spill. Do not worry about spill. The reason why there is a spill value is because it's overruling here, as you can see. You can see the blue box. It says, warning, I'm going to delete or overwrite all other formulas or text what is in here. No problem with that. So what we're going to do here, we're going to delete this, and now our spill is gone. Alright, so you're probably understanding now where we're going. now we have this. And if you really look at this, you can probably imagine if you would do a VLOOKUP here, a new VLOOKUP, and this VLOOKUP is according to this here, right? You would say, well, we first select the value, comma, then we would select this, comma, then you would be, let's see what happened. I understand here, don't worry about this. We can ignore this later on. Then we say column number 2, because we want the second column, that's the ID. And then we say false. Enter. Alright, so it gives an error. And the reason why it gives an error is because this is, of course, a function as well. And all what we want to do is we want to copy this complete function. Copy it in. And you see this here, this part here, which was giving a red, delete, put in this, and enter. Alright, so now we have this. And you can see here, this here, y does give an error. Let's double check here. What are we missing? We have the sales values. These are all correct. Then we have here, alright, sorry. You can see here what I'm doing. You just pay attention. VLOOKUP. Alright. So now we have this correct because I overwrite the UP letters of VLOOKUP. Enter. And now we have number 1. So this is basically how you can do it, and we can do exactly the same here. Let's copy this text again. Escape. Paste it in here. And then here, enter. Because we want the second order. The order value is the 4th value here. So we say here, let's see what we have here. This is the formula builder. So what I did was you basically, if you want to go to the formula builder, select this. Click on this button here. You get back to the formula builder. Remove this. To column number 4, this is column, yeah, this is the one here, number 2, you're going to make it number 4. You can see the result, it starts to recognize $500,000, confirm, close this, there we are. So what about this code? Now you say, well, let's delete this, boom, there you are, it's gone, and this is just based on a locked value where we are not allowed to adjust anything here, and this is a nice secret trick to do. And let's adjust this. So 1003 equals order ID 1. So what about if we do 919? 919. Enter a $50,000 order, which is order ID number 2 from T-Mobile. So this is the reason, most likely, why you get the no value available error. Because, just to recap, the value that you're trying to get is before the matching value. Everything in the left before you have this one, or if this is your matching value or comparison value, and everything is, and any value that you're trying to extract is in the left, it will not work. You have to put it always to the right. So if you cannot do that, use the choose function. I will repeat the choose function. Yes, where you put in, oh, okay, that's correct. Okay, where you make sure you put in these brackets. Then you have to, so you can use these table, so you can control the table arrays, and then you select here the table or the column values, for example, this here. And if I would change this, I would say number 2, and this is number 1. You will see again, there you are. And it's so much fun to do with this because it's nice tricks. All right. So I hope this helped you out, and I hope this is clear. If you struggle with this, and I don't blame you, this is quite hard, especially the choose function. Or if you still struggle with your hashtag NA error for your VLOOKUP, just put them down in the comment section below. Try to share what's the issue. Try to give your code. I'll try to look at it to understand what's going on. And if you like tips and tricks regarding to this, like my channel or subscribe to my channel so you will be updated with the latest new items.